Hi again, everyone. Welcome to WKYC.com. This is a special sports exclusive, if you will. Joining me, Nick Camino, yours truly, Dave DeNatale. And Nick, we would normally, in situations like this, you and I might be talking, something with the Browns, the 53-man roster's out, or, any Indians/Guardians news or Cavaliers.
Uh-huh.
But today, you and I are going to chat for a little bit about one of the biggest stories in the country in sports. And it's got to do with Ohio high school football, and in particular, a team called Bishop Sycamore that just got done playing in a special ESPN game on Sunday at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton. And there are a lot of, details about this school and about this team that aren't being answered. And we've got our 3 News team out investigating this, but it certainly seems like there's a lot that doesn't smell real good about this.
Well, this whole thing is bizarre, Dino. I mean, here's the other thing. I think in 2 or 3 weeks, they're scheduled to play St. Edward. What are they going to do?
Yes, they are.
They can't be expected to play these guys. I mean, this is unbelievable. The whole thing, really, I have to say, not that I thought I was ahead of this or had a scoop on this when it happened, but it's interesting. In our sports department, a couple of our producers, everything guys, have some ties to Columbus. David Kinder, who you know, and Sean Dunnigan, who we just brought here from Columbus, who spent 9-10 years there down in Columbus. And the other day, we were talking about high school football, and this Bishop Sycamore came up. Now, this was before the ESPN game, okay? Mm-hmm. And I think I overheard David and Sean both talking, and they both were kind of saying, I've never really heard of this Bishop Sycamore. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. And I think I was working on something else. The Cavaliers trade had just come down and stuff. But I remember thinking in my head, wait a minute. The guy who was born and raised and loves Columbus has never heard of Sycamore. The guy who's worked there 9-10 years has never heard of Bishop Sycamore. What is this school? You know what I mean? I remember saying that to myself, but then, the day was so busy. I'm thinking about stuff. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's probably just a small school, new school that these guys haven't heard of. Well, it turns out this whole thing might just be I saw yesterday, we did a report on our news. Marissa Signs, they go to the school website. It's all about football.
Right. Nothing else. There's nothing else. And I think we just checked the website as Nick and I are taping this on Tuesday afternoon. And now I think there's nothing there. We found out that not only did they play IMG Academy on Sunday, and by the way, their doors blown off, and I'm not belittling the kids, but they lost 58-0. I don't mean to belittle the kids who are playing. They played Friday night, Nick, in Western Pennsylvania, in some, I think they call it Wolverine Fest or something. It's basically a Western Pennsylvania football showcase, one of the other hotbeds of high school football in this country. So you can't, there's no way you can ever ask kids to play 2 games in less than a week. To play a Saturday and then going back and playing a Friday, coaches sometimes really don't want to do that. Or to play a Friday and then have to play on the following Thursday, coaches aren't really happy about doing that. But to play less than 48 hours later, come on, what's going on here?
I've never heard of it. It is a completely bizarre story. I've never heard of something like this. You bring up a great point with the 2 days in between a game. Unheard of.
Oh.
Sam Berquin, who does some radio. Sam. He's done some high school football over the years. He was doing the PA announcing down at Tom Benson Stadium at the Hall of Fame. He said they asked for the rosters. They gave him this sheet of paper that had like 6 to 12 names on there with no numbers or heights or weights of the kids. Like, what? They duped everybody. Here's my question, though, and maybe you can answer this. Or maybe our reporters who are on this story will be able to answer it better. What is the true end game for something like this? So, okay, we know it's probably a fraud situation. This whole thing is totally, unheard of, and they're doing the wrong thing. Okay, but I'm curious as to why it was being done. Like, what was are they trying to get these kids scholarships? I don't because clearly the team's not that good.
Right.
why would you attempt to do something like this? I'm not saying what they did was right. We know it's wrong, but why did they attempt it? What's
Right.
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's what's the end game? I'd like to know that, because I feel like there are kids who are getting manipulated one way or the other in this thing. That's number one. I'd like to know who is funding this operation that allows you to travel from Columbus, Columbus, wherever they have, to Western Pennsylvania, to all over Northeast Ohio, all over Ohio. They're supposed to play in Kentucky, I think, this weekend. So where are they getting the money for that? I mean, it's a private thing.
That's a great question.
How you paying for that? And I still want to know how Paragon Marketing Group, who set up the ESPN game, and ESPN, to a lesser degree, the Hall of Fame. They were the host, and you're a lot of times you're at the mercy of ESPN, and you say, yeah, okay, I'll let you in. How did everybody get duped like this?
Yeah.
To allow, I mean, you and I were talking, and I think with the aforementioned David Kinder, there are 100 high schools in Ohio, certainly in northern Ohio, that I would have loved to have seen, get that airtime on ESPN against IMG Academy. Yeah, I mean, IMG Academy, I know, we all know them. I mean, that's a factory. They're trying to get kids ready for college. I get that. But who thought it was a good idea? Who vetted this to allow this team with an unknown roster to be allowed to play in this kind of prestigious game?
It's amazing. And their first game of this season was one of the first games played in Northeast Ohio. They played Hoban week 1.
Yes.
And you bring up David Kinder. I'm gonna have to tell him we mentioned him all this much. He was at the game against Hoban, and he just told me, they were committing so many penalties and so many like illegal formations where it almost had him scratching his head. Like, you're like, okay, they're high school kids. It's the first game of the year. They're rusty. But it was bad. And so you put all this together, the whole thing, I've used the word bizarre. I mean, it's surreal. I've never heard of something like this.
And then you brought up the point on the schedule for Bishop Sycamore in the month of September is St. Edward. I know this. If I'm Coach Lombardo, I want to have my team play 10 games. I mean, I want them ready for the playoffs. I want them to play on a Friday night or a Saturday night, whatever. I want them to have their experience. I wouldn't want them to play this game. Not right now. Not with all the question marks.
No.
I wouldn't want to deal with this one bit if I'm St.
No.
Edward.
If you're St. Ed's, I don't think you can play this game. So they may end up with 9, which has happened before, I think, to St. Ignatius before, too, where they can only schedule 9 games or something. I know they hate it, but I don't think you can't have the kids play these kids. We don't even know the ages of these kids. I mean, they could have a 24-year-old kid playing high school football. We have no idea.
I mean, right. They could be 24-year-olds. They could be 14-year-olds. They could be below high school age. We don't know. I mean,
we have no idea.
We don't have a roster. We don't have heights, weights.
Are those even their real names? They might be fake names. Who knows?
I just know this. Watch because now they have a target on them, and you're starting to see national people go after them. And I saw there was already a story, I think, on Fox News, and Clay Travis's Outkick guys were starting investigating this program, and we're doing our thing up here.
I saw the USA
Today coming up here on this
USA. Yeah, USA Today wrote something about it too. It's huge. It's become a big story.
I just, in all the years, I was thinking about this. I mean, I've covered high school sports for the better part of 20 years, about 23 years. I've never seen a story like this before.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. We've never seen something like this. And Interested to see what else we find out from Bishop Sycamore, if that is a place.
Yes, if that is a place. All right. Laura Queso will have more on this story tonight on what matters most at 6. And I think Leon Eli is going to be tracking this story in the 11th. So we're following it for you, folks. Hey, who are these guys?
Here's what I'll say to Laura and Lena. Good luck.
But yes, the mystery of Bishop Sycamore. Who are they? Where are they? Do they actually have a website? We have questions. We're going to try and get you answers as we go. For Nick Camino, I'm Dave DeNatale. Thanks so much for watching WKYC.com.